Hey y'all, welcome to my page. This is going to be my April bullet journal, and the title is River Mumma. Well, you may be asking yourself, who is River Mumma? What is River Mumma? Well, I'm going to tell you today, so kick back, relax, and watch me get ready for this month. First, we're going to be using this stamp set from my Hero ArtS. This was from 2018. It was there June 1. It was layering waves, and it was really nice. It was a beach theme. It has a little mermaid up there, but we're not going to be using that one because we're going to be using something else from my Hero ArtS. This is a smaller set. This is just like a Stampin' Cut. A Stampin' Cut is when they give you like one stamp and a couple other small ones to go with it, and then they give you the dies that match with a few of the stamps, and that's also what we're going to be using. To begin, let's make the ocean. So I'm going to be using distress oxides for this layering stamp. If you're unfamiliar with a layering stamp, it is a stamp set that is, per the name, designed to be layered together. So we're going to put the base layer on with the lightest color, then we're going to put the next layer on with the second darkest color, and then we're going to put on the next layer or the last layer with the darkest color. Now the darkest color is actually going to be like the little wave peaks, so if you wanted to heat emboss like some white so that you could see that a little bit better, have a different effect, you could do that, but I just planned for these three colors. Now the distress oxides, those are a reactive ink, so when you spray water on those, they react to the water and they start to lighten, which is really neat if you know how to use that effect, and you can use it to your advantage for any of your projects. I really like distress oxides because they're easy to clean off my stamps as well. Now we're going to get into my favorite part, which we are going to be inking in and coloring our River Mumma. I'm breaking up my tombos and I'm starting off with this light color, which is 990. Then I'm going to go in with my next color, which is a little bit darker. I think the color is 977, but don't quote me on it because it's rubbed off in my pen. So what I originally would have wanted to do was just watercolor this whole thing, and technically I am watercoloring it, but I wanted to be able to pick this up with an actual watercolor brush, the ones that I got for Christmas, and could not find them. Per usual, whenever I want to use something, I can never find it, and I know that I hid it somewhere so that I wouldn't lose it, so it was no one's fault but mine. And I guarantee you, like, it'll pop up later when I'm not trying to paint, but either way, we're gonna get through it. So this is my River Mumma. I tried to paint in some reds in her tail just so she wouldn't have like one monocolor tail, but we'll get there. Now we're going to color her hair. Now River Mumma has black hair per legend, so I'm going to try to get it in there. And I didn't want to go too dark because I still wanted to get in some of the details of her hair. So I'm going to color it in with the lighter grays, then come in with some blacks or some darker grays. That way you'll still be able to see the lines. Now we're going to die cut her out. Die cutting makes things so much easier because I can just color her on a piece of paper and paste her on top of something else without having to think about how things layer or if I have to mask things off. So now it's time to glue her down. Now, earlier I told you about distress oxides and how they react. That last stamp, that top layer that I put in there, was just water. So you should see where that top layer is just like a little bit lighter because I stamped it with water. I didn't really like that. Like, it wasn't as dramatic as I wanted it to be, so I took my Copic opaque white and I'm just painting in some C's. I'm going along with the edges and with the ridges that you see from the previous stamp, or at least that darker color, and I'm just going to add in some white peaks. Now I'm going to build my scene, so I add some birds from that set and I add some clouds from that set. And then I forgot that, hey, she's just floating around in the water, but she looks like she's sitting. River Mumma loves to sit on the edge of the water and brush her hair. So I'm going to draw her a rock. Now that I'm done with my title page, I go over into my calendar. Now my calendar doesn't really change that much, so it's just the calendar, you write the month, and then you decorate it a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about River Mumma. So River Mumma is a Jamaican water deity. I would imagine that she's probably related to Mama Wata from over who is a water deity from different parts of Africa. So, when you take a group of people from their home and take them different places, of course they bring with them their stories, their lore, their mythology, their truths, their life, their culture. So I would imagine that this is where River Mumma came from. River Mumma protects the waterways of Jamaica. Now, I can't give you any more information than what I can read online, so I'm going to just read online for you what I found. So, and I'm going to link down below where I got this information from, so you can go read more about River Mumma for yourself. So, legend says that River Mumma inhabits the rivers of Jamaica, and all of the fish are River Mumma's children. Sometimes people say that River Mumma rises out of the river to sit on rocks and comb her long black hair. But, like they say, don't touch her. Don't even look at her. There's no telling what she will do if you try. Some say that if you do so much as see her, you'll fall into a trance, and she'll grab you by the heels and drag you under the river. If you try to catch her, the fish will disappear. The river will run dry. It's best, they say, not to make trouble with River Mumma. Now here's the legend, y'all. River Mumma lives deep in the rivers, way down in those places where the water is tranquil, still, and achingly blue, in spots beneath the shade of the cotton trees, rimmed with plumes and spears of palm sand, overhung with ferns and ropes and vines of plants. It is there, they say, in those still places way down in the bottom of the river, that her golden table lies hidden. The Spaniards left this table made of solid gold during their quest for gold many centuries ago. River Mumma guards that table, but often at noon, on the hottest of blazing hot days, the golden table will rise slowly to the surface and hover there. When the greedy see that table, they long to steal it. Many have tried. One time, in the deepest blue river, on the land of a great sugar estate, the foreman saw that table rise, and so he chained a team of oxen to it. Pull, he cried, and he snapped his whip across the oxen's back. Pull. And I'm going to just shorten it for you. The man went missing. Didn't nobody never know what happened to him because he tried to steal that table. Now, almost everything I read about River Mumma, she seems to be a little mean, but I can imagine most mermaids from wherever you read about them, they always have that mean streak to them. And I would imagine, sailors are seeing these mythological creatures or whatever it is that they think, and they're in the middle of the water. Yeah, I guess everything would seem mean. And then the added burden here is that you're taking a group of people from one place to another against their will. So yeah, I would imagine that these spirits probably aren't your friends. But I will say River Mumma definitely seems like the don't start nothing, won't be nothing type. Because if you leave her table alone and you leave her comb alone, she has no reason to beef with you. And matter of fact, from a couple of different places that I've read, if you have a pure heart and good intentions, you actually can cross her rivers in peace. So I think, that's something to consider. Now, let's get back to the art. I did mess up on my first weekly. I was going to try and have her tail go behind the box, but I messed it up completely. So I just, I'm not going to get rid of that spread because we do art and we don't judge so I just went ahead to the next page and I'm going to do this again. Now this time I found all of my brushes. So this watercolor is going to look way better. I also have some watercolor pencils that I bought from Ross, and these are gonna be great to add in different details, add different shadows. Now, here's my final flip through. So my cover page, my calendar, the first page that I messed up, I'm still gonna use this. Don't worry, this page is not gonna waste. And then my actual second week page. So if you've been here this long, I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here and learning about River Mumma today. So if there's anything that you thought was interesting, let me know in the comments. And I'll be here with y'all next month. All right, y'all. Bye.